Well, hey everybody, welcome back. Exciting action today coming off of the heels of the big Wealth 365 Summit last week. I hope you guys were there last Monday where I taught the really powerful strategies on speed line continuation trades, and then I followed up on Wednesday with the gotcha trades. And sure enough, throughout the week we saw really incredible opportunities with both speed lines and gotchas here in stocks just like Myrna. So, here we had this big pullback the last couple days, but look what happened. Last Thursday, we broke below the speed lines on both the SPY and the diamonds. So that was a big fat warning sign, right? If you went ahead and heard my presentation on Monday, you heard me talk about that. But what we said though was, look, the overall trend is still up, right? So I'd focus on select long side opportunities. So then I went ahead in my training sessions there was going ahead and showing you in the after hours training sessions in particular, using the different tools inside of wealth charts, and I specifically was highlighting the inside unusual options activity inside of wealth charts on Myrna. These are the actual slides I showed there from last week. I said, look what's going on here, gang. We're in the 240s and 250s, and they're going ahead and identify. They're showing a bunch of 270s, 280s, and even 300s. It's like, well, that's interesting. Somebody's getting aggressive here. There's all these aggressive orders taking place on unusual options activity at 270, 280, and even 300s, and this was days in advance. And I went ahead and I pointed that out to everybody. In fact, here are some of the slides I was showing, there, talking about some of the tools and strategies inside of wealth charts there, and it just kept going up. And now here we are again. So now we've gone from that 287 level, from where this unusual activity was first being found, when we were back in the 240s, 250s, to now as of today, going ahead and looking at Myrna, and you'll see that it went ahead and actually, just took off here again. So all that unusual options activity was happening back over here, and it just took off like a rocket. Guess what? Magically, we're at 315, and it was all found with that unusual options activity inside of Options Hunter in Wealth Charts. So just a really great way to kind of capstone the big Wealth 365 week. Hopefully you guys were coming to those 6 days of events I did. I was there 4 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Friday, 3 hours all the other nights of the week in the evening, showing these different strategies like using, the unusual options activity and spotting those different things. And even after all that, sure enough, Myrna continued to explode. Well, now we know why there's so much unusual options activity going off at higher levels when that was $30, $40, $50, $60 away. So, great stuff. And so where we're at now, kind of bringing it back full circle here. So we've now had our first knock. The Dow once again closed back down below the channel, that all important channel. The S&P held right up to it, to the line here. Now, first of all, from my perspective, unless there's the unusual options activity inside of Options Hunter that we're looking for, unless there's something that's coming up that's really interesting on Wealth Scanner and we're above the speed lines, not interested in a fresh long right now. I want to see how this test goes here, because we're knocking on this door again, and I told you guys back a while ago, I said the big thing that could derail this is all this talk about going back into lockdowns. In fact, last week at the summit, you recall, I actually mentioned, I said LA, talking about indoor masking policies, and all of a sudden mainstream news is going ahead and talking a lot about these other variants that are out there and increased numbers of cases and things like that. It's like, well, that sounds kind of ominous, right? So those are the kind of things that can derail, the movement forward. Not to mention, let's not forget about that overheated real estate market that I was telling you about there as well, feeling a lot like 2007, 2008. I gave you examples in the last month or two from actually people in our staff that were selling homes and went ahead and were getting extraordinary a number of offers and $40,000+ $1 offers on it with no contingencies. Remember all those conversations I had with you. So there's a lot piling up on this market right now. We're back down, below the speed lines, which means that not looking for laissez-faire, just blind long side trading, looking to go ahead and take very select, opportunities, such as like I was showing you there last week with that very specific Myrna unusual options activity that's coming up in Options Hunter. That's exactly the kind of opportunity, because those are the kind of things that are pointing up, saying, hey, institutions, people in the know, insiders, people that have strong beliefs are putting their money in something when it's quite a ways lower, and all of a sudden magically all this stuff's coming in. And so that's why we talked about it at the Wealth 365 Summit. And then when you tie that in with like the speed line continuation strategy, look what happened all week. All week it was above the speed lines and continued, and then just exploded to the upside. So a lot of that great training that came in a gotcha bar. You'll see on Thursday there was Friday there was the gotcha bar where it opened up, pushed down, and then took back off there as well. So the Monday strategies I taught, the Wednesday strategies I taught, all going ahead and continuing to pile through with the other things I was teaching in the evening classes on things such as Options Hunter. So where we stand on this all, with all of that being said now, it's time to sit back off here, wait, see. Going to get very concerned if we start closing down below this area here. This is an accumulation bar. Don't want to see that if you're long. And we're going to be watching the Dow going into tomorrow there as well, and see how it fares. Those are going to be a couple of the key things, but the bottom line is really what we're doing here is we're backing off of the long side trades, both aggressively and even more, in general terms, unless we see a very specific option like a Myrna, or others. But given that we now had one close below the channel and the other one close at the channel, it won't hurt to sit out one day of activity to see what happens. And again, I want to be clear, I'm going to be watching this area very closely. What's been happening up till now with the SPY is it's been turning right back around and comes back up. Is it going to come in, save the day? Remember what I want to do. If it comes up to save the day, I want to get back above the speed lines, right? Just like we talked about over here, I want to be above the channel and the speed lines. That's part of what I taught you at the speed line continuation class there last Monday at the Wealth 365 Summit as well, right? So those are all things that we're looking at. Those are key things we're watching. We'll keep you up to date on these things. Have a great night. Thanks again for being the world's greatest students, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the upcoming videos. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.